Is it clear now? Yes? Okay. So the first question, nature of the image formed by a convex mirror is real inverted diminished, real inverted enlarged, virtual erect diminished, virtual erect enlarged. The same question paper that you are attended yesterday. At least a guess and say.
Diminished.
Virtual erect and diminished. What about others? Srihari's answer is virtual erect and diminished.
Option B.
Option B. Okay, it's right answer. Virtual erect and diminished. So it's right. Because we know that in the case of convex mirror, only two possible cases are there. We can place the object at infinity or between infinity and the pole. In these two cases, we get the image between pole and infinity, anywhere between pole and infinity, that is behind the mirror. And the nature of the image, nature and size of the image is always virtual, erect, and diminished. Even though we are placed the object at infinity or anywhere between infinity and pole, the nature and size of the image produced will be the same. It is virtual, erect, and diminished. So option B is right. Second question, what is the size of the image formed by a convex mirror when the object is placed at infinity and the image is formed at the focus behind the mirror?
Highly diminished.
Is it highly diminished, diminished, enlarged, equal to the size of the object?
Option B.
Highly diminished.
What is the size of the image formed by a convex mirror when the object is placed at infinity? At infinity, if the object is placed at infinity, it is highly diminished. Okay, it is highly diminished. Option B, right. Sometimes you may be confused with the two answers, option B and option D. That is, option B is highly diminished, option D is diminished. If the object is placed at infinity, then the image formed will be highly diminished. Then in which case we get a diminished image in the case of convex mirror? When we are obtaining a diminished image in the case of convex mirror? Yes?
Between infinity and pole.
Yes, if the object is placed between infinity and pole, then we get an image that should be diminished in nature. Okay. But if the object is placed at infinity, only one case is there, the size is always highly diminished. Now the third question. Which of the following laws states that the incident ray, the normal to the surface at the point of incidence, and the reflected ray all are lies in the same plane? Which of the following law states incident ray, normal, and reflected ray all are lies in the same plane? Is it second law of reflection, first law of refraction, first law of reflection, Snell's law?
First law of reflection.
It is first law of reflection. First law of reflection. Some of them are right. It is the second law. What is the second law states? Second law of reflection.
Angle of incidence is equal to angle of.
Very good. According to second law of reflection, angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle R. But here we have the incident ray, reflected ray, and normal. All lies in the same plane. Incident ray, reflected ray, and normal all lies in the same plane. This is explained by the first law of reflection. This is the first law. Okay. Now, fourth question. Calculate the position of the image formed if a concave mirror produces a real image which is 3 times magnified of the object placed 20 centimeter in front of it. Calculate the position of the image formed if a concave mirror produces a real image which is 3 times magnified of the object placed 20 centimeter in front of it.
Option A.
Which is the correct answer?
Option C.
Option C. Okay, is there any other options? Option C, negative 60 centimeter. What about others? Yes, Shania?
Option A.
Option A, 60 centimeter. Okay, is there any other answers? Elsa?
Option C.
Option C, negative 60. Okay, I think most of them are confused between the option A and option C, right? So, okay, let me check the answer, which is the correct one. So, calculate the position of image formed if a concave mirror produces a real image, which is 3 times magnified of the object placed 20 centimeter in front of it. So, what is this 20 centimeter indicates 20 centimeter?
The object distance.
Very good. 20 centimeter is nothing. It is our object distance. Object distance U is equal to 20 centimeter. Is it right? U is equal to simply the 20 centimeter. Is it right? Negative 20 centimeter. Very good. Even whether it is a concave or convex mirror, the object should be placed on the left side of the mirror. So U is equal to negative 20 centimeter. Is there any other clues are given here in the question? Which produces a real image which is 3 times magnified of the object. So the magnification is given. What is the magnification? M? M is equal to how many times? It produces a real image which is 3 times magnified. 3 times means M is equal to 3. But what about the nature of the image produced here? Is it is virtual or real?
Real.
It's a real image. Then what about the sign of magnification?
Negative.
It is negative. You must put a negative sign because here we get an image which is real in nature. If the image is real, you must put a negative sign there. Instead of positive, here we must put a negative sign. So here we want to calculate the image distance. Image distance. So what is the relation between magnification, object distance and that of the image distance? Magnification M is equal to minus V by U. So here we have the value of magnification M. M is equal to negative 3. That is equal to negative V divided by U. Object distance is negative 20. So here this negative and this negative sign cancels, which implies E is equal to, bring this 20 to LHS. 20 into negative 3. 20 into negative 3 is? Unmute and say. It is negative 60. Negative 60 centimeter. Negative 60 centimeter. So what is the correct option? Is it option A or option C? It's option C. Negative. And here you can guess it is a concave mirror. For a concave mirror, both the object distance and image distance are negative in nature. Whether it is a concave or convex, the object should be placed in the left side of the mirror, so it should take a negative sign. Okay. So the correct answer is negative 60 centimeter. Now the next question. The focal length of a concave mirror is 10 centimeter. The position of the object that is useful for getting an enlarged image, which can be caught on a screen, is, options are, placed at a distance of 5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 35 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 15 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 4.5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror.
Number 1. Placed distance of 5 centimeter.
Why?
And it's
I need
between the between the focal length and pole.
Between the focal length and the pole. But here we have only one value. Focal length of a concave mirror is 10 centimeter. Then why it is not 4.5? Here the mirror is concave. We know that in the case of concave mirror, we have 6 different cases are there. And out of these 6 different cases, in which case we get an enlarged image or a magnified image?
Center of curvature and focus and focus.
Yes,
and
between focus and pole, because between the, not between the center of curvature, between the pole and focus. If you kept the object between, for example, you just imagine this is the concave mirror. Here we have the pole, focus, center of curvature. Okay. So we have 6 different cases are there. And the last case, if you are placing the object between where, if you are placed the object between pole and focus, then only we get the image which is enlarged in nature. Okay. Then what will be the correct option? Placed at a distance of 5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 35 centimeter from the pole of the mirror, placed at a distance of 15 centimeter, or placed at a distance of 4.5 centimeter from the pole of the mirror.
4.5.
Yes, it is 4.5. Because all the other cases, we can say that that image or the object is somehow it is far away from that of the pole of the mirror. So when we are comparing with that of these two distance 5 and 4.5, this 4.5 centimeter is somehow which is nearer to that of the pole of the mirror. In the case of concave mirror, only one case is there. We get an enlarged or highly magnified image. That is when the object is placed between focus and that of the pole of the mirror. Now the 6th one. A full-length image of a distant tall building can definitely be seen by using a concave mirror, a convex mirror, a plane mirror, both concave as well as plane mirror. Yes, Shania, unmute and say. It's convex mirror. Is there any other answers? Anjali Priya. What about your answer? A full length of image of a distant tall building can definitely be seen by using a concave mirror, convex mirror, plane mirror, both the concave as well as plane mirror. By plane mirror. Okay. What about Minha?
Yes, ma'am.
What about your answer?
Convex mirror.
Convex mirror. Elsa?
Convex mirror.
Convex mirror. Ilana?
Convex mirror.
Convex mirror. Is there any other answers other than convex mirror and plane mirror? Gauri?
Convex mirror.
Convex mirror. So what do you think? Is it is convex or plane? A full length. I want to get a full length image of a distant tall object. Sean, what about your opinion? It is convex mirror, students. Anjali, it is convex in nature. Why? Why this convex mirror gives a full length of image of a distant tall building? We know that in the case of plane mirror also, it is also gives a virtual and direct image, same as that of the convex. But in order to get a full length image of a distant tall object, we can only use convex mirror. What is the reason? There is a particular reason. That's why we are using a convex mirror in order to get the full length image of a distant tall building.
Is it because of virtual and direct?
Then plane mirror is also gives the virtual and direct image. Then why we are not used this plane mirror in order to get a full length image of a distant tall object?
And it is bulged outwards.
Yes.
It's bulged outwards.
Yes, in the case of convex mirror, it has one main function is there. It produces a wider field of view, right? Here, the tall building, it is a distant tall building. Okay, if we are using a plane mirror, we know that plane mirror is producing an image which is same as that of the exact size of that object. So does it produces a complete image of a distant tall building by a plane mirror? Is it possible? No. So that is why we are using a convex mirror. The same thing that we are used in the convex mirror in the case of the rear view mirrors of vehicles. In order to see the vehicles that is coming from back, it produces a wider field of view. Okay. So the answer is convex mirror. Now the next pattern of question, assertion and reason type questions. Assertion and reasoning. So here I give some directions in order to attend this assertion and reason type questions. You have two statements. One is assertion and reason. One minute, children. Okay. So if the assertion is correct, reason is correct, reason is the correct explanation for assertion. Okay. Then you can mark it in the option 1. If assertion is correct, reason is correct, but reason is not correct explanation for the assertion, then you can mark 2. Assertion is correct, reason is incorrect, then you can mark 3. Assertion is incorrect, reason is correct, then you can mark 4. Okay, now read the questions carefully. So regarding with this question, first you read assertion carefully and check whether it is correct or incorrect. Then only proceed with the reason. A ray passing through the center of curvature of a concave mirror, after the reflection, it reflected back along the same path. Is it correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Quickly recall. Yes?
Correct.
It is correct because according to the rules, we know that if a ray of light is entering through a center of curvature, after the reflection, it is returning through the same path. So here the assertion is correct. Then what about the reason? Now you just concentrate on the reason. Read the reason carefully. The incident rays falls on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. The incident rays fall on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. Is it correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Yes, it is also correct. The incident rays, all the rays which is incident along the normal, which is incident on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. It is also correct. Now you just check whether this reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. So here both assertion and reason is correct. So the next step is this. You just check whether this reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. Yes, here the reason and assertion is correct, and we can say the reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. It is because of this incident ray fall on the mirror along the normal to the reflecting surface. That is why the ray of light is reflecting through the same path in the case of center of curvature. So here we can say assertion is correct, reason is correct, and reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. Because since the incident rays falls on the mirror along the normal to the right of the reflecting surface, that is why this ray of light is get reflecting back through the same path. So here Assertion is true. Reason is also true. And we can say the reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. Now the question number 8. So the assertion is this: virtual images are always erect. Virtual images are always erect.
Correct. And it is a erect or
Okay. So what about question number 8? Assertion is this: virtual images are always erect.
True.
It's true. Correct. Very good.
true.
We know that along with that of the virtual images, the only possible combination is erect. Virtual and erect. Good. Then the reason: virtual images are formed by diverging lenses only.
False.
It is incorrect. It is incorrect. Or we can say it is false. Okay. So which option is right? Assertion is correct. Reason is incorrect. Okay. So for question number 8, option 3. Assertion is correct, but the reason is incorrect. Okay. Now question number 9. The mirrors used in searchlights are concave spherical. A simple one, direct question. The mirrors used in searchlight are concave spherical. Is it true or false?
True.
It is true. Because we know that in every light, if it is a torchlight, headlight of vehicles or searchlight of vehicles, we know that the type of mirrors that we are used is concave in nature. So that statement is true. Now what about the reason? In concave spherical mirrors, the image formed is always virtual.
No, ma'am.
In
False.
concave spherical mirror, the image formed will be always virtual.
False, false.
It is false.
Ma'am, it is in real and inverted.
Yes, it may be real and inverted. We know that in the case of concave mirror, we have 6 different cases. And for the first 5 cases, the nature of the image is real and inverted. Only in one case, we get a virtual image. So that is false statement. Now the 10th question. Assertion is this: for observing traffic at back, the driver mirror is a convex mirror. Is it true or false?
True.
9th one option, assertion is true, reason is false. So which is the correct option? Option 3. For 9, option 3 is the answer. Now the 10th question. 10th question. Assertion is this: for observing traffic at back, the driver mirror is convex mirror.
True.
True. Very good. The rear view mirror, which is convex in nature. Okay. What about the reason? A convex mirror has much larger field of view than that of the plane mirror.
True.
True. It is also true. Now you can check whether this reason is the correct explanation for the assertion.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, very good. So here this given reason is the correct explanation for the assertion, because convex mirror is something, it is some type of mirrors which produces a wider field of view. That is why we use this convex mirrors as the rear view mirrors of the vehicles. Okay. So here both assertion is correct, reason is correct, and we can say reason is the correct explanation for the assertion. So here option 1. Okay. Now the last section. Case study based questions. Read the given paragraph carefully and try to answer the questions. The curved surface of a spoon can be considered as a spherical mirror. A highly smooth polished surface is called a mirror. The mirror whose reflecting surface is curved inwards or outwards is called a spherical mirror. Inner part works as a concave mirror and the outer bulging part acts as a convex mirror. The center of the reflecting surface of a mirror is called a pole, and the radius of the sphere of which the mirror is formed is called radius of curvature. So read the given paragraph carefully. Try to answer the questions. When a concave mirror is held towards the sun and its sharp image is formed on a piece of carbon paper, for some time a hole is burned in the carbon paper. What is the name given to the distance between the mirror and carbon paper? Is radius of curvature, focal length, principal focus, or principal axis? S. S.
What is carbon paper? Carbon paper.
Carbon paper is something like tracing paper. Have you ever seen the tracing paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yes.
Focal.
Yes. What about any other options? Any other options from you guys? A concave mirror is held towards the sun and its sharp image is formed on a piece of carbon paper for some time. A hole is burned in the carbon paper. What is the name given to the distance between the mirror and the carbon paper?
Principal axis.
Principal axis is an imaginary line that is passing through center of curvature. So here we can say it is no principal axis. It is not radius of curvature.
Focal length.
It is focal length. The distance between the principal focus and that of the pole of the mirror is known as focal length. So that particular distance is known as focal length. So the correct option is focal length. Then the 12th question. The distance between pole and focal point of a spherical mirror is equal to distance between pole and center of curvature, focus point and center of curvature, object and image, pole and object.
Pole and object.
Pole and object. Then what about any others? Any other answers?
Pole and
Focus
center of
point and
curvature.
center of curvature.
Pole and center of curvature. Any other answers?
And option B.
Ma'am, B, focus point and the center of curvature.
Focus point and center of curvature.
Focus point and center of curvature.
Any of them are going with option B?
Focus point.
Okay, I think none of them are going with option D. So it is wrong. We are confused with the three options. Pole and center of curvature, pole and object, focus point and center of curvature. Read the question carefully and give the answer. The distance between pole and focal point of a spherical mirror is equal to the distance between.
Ma'am, B.
And focus point.
B.
This option. What about others? Is there any other answers?
And B.
Okay. Delvin? Abin Thompson? What about your answer?
Ma'am, B.
It is option B. The distance between pole and focal point of a spherical mirror is equal to the distance between focus point and the center of curvature. It is not between pole and center of curvature and pole and object. Option B is right answer. Next question. Sir, direct question you can find out from this value. The focal length of the mirror is 15 centimeter. F is equal to 15 centimeter. Then what about the radius of curvature? R.
Man, this I have a doubt. I asked now.
30 centimeter.
30. Option B.
What is the relation between radius of curvature and focal length, Vizan?
Ma'am, F is equal to. And that equation?
Yes, I only need the equation. What is the relation between radius of curvature and focal length?
V is equal to 1.
I think you are attending the exam without proper revision, right?
Ma'am, V is equal to 1 by 1 R.
No. Melita, relation between R and F.
F is equal to R by 2.
F is equal to R by 2. Then Ashik Joshi. Swati, what is the relation between focal length and the radius of curvature?
R is equal to 2F.
Very good. R is equal to 2F. R equal to 2F. So here the focal length is given 15 centimeter. Then what about radius of curvature? R is equal to 2 into 15. What is 2 into 15? 30 centimeter. So which is the correct option? A, B, C or D?
B.
Option B. Okay. So now the last sheet. The normal at any point on the mirror passes through. You can correlate this question something. What about the question number 12 and all? The normal at any point on the mirror passes through focus, center of curvature, pole, or through at any point.
Center of curvature.
Center.
Center of curvature. The normal at any point on the mirror is passes through the center of curvature. Okay. Then the last question. In a convex spherical mirror, reflection of light takes place at flat
Bulging out.
surface, bulging out surface, bending surface, and
Ma'am.
uneven surface. Yes.
I'm at
Bulging
24.
out.
At 24.
Yes. It's not clear.
Ma'am, after
I think
any 4
Bul-
questions? No. After any 4 questions.
Pisan, it's not clear.
I'm missing attend any 4 questions.
Attending 4 questions, but I think those who are attending the exam, I give the proper instructions. Says mistake in question paper, you have to attend all the 5 questions. Those who are writing the exam on 10:30, I don't know what to say to them. So here, what about the correct answer? This bulging out surface. It's a convex spherical mirror. In a convex spherical mirror, the reflection of light takes place at bulging out surface. If it is a flat surface, it is a plane mirror. Bend in surface, it is a concave mirror. An uneven surface. From an uneven surface, does the reflection takes place? No. It is
No.
occurs on bulging out surface. So option C is right. Is it clear?
And the test is for 15 marks.
Yes, it is only for 15 marks. Okay, then we have to practice some other questions. I will give you some other questions. I don't know it is from lens or mirror. Okay, let me check. Is it clear, students? Clear or not?
Yes, ma'am, clear.
Ma'am, can you zoom a bit?
Okay, 1 minute. Read the 95th question. The magnification of a concave mirror is -1. That is, M is equal to -1. it implies that object must be at the focus of the concave mirror. The image formed is virtual. The image formed is erect. None of this.
Ma'am, question is not clear. That can you zoom?
I think when I am zoom again, sometimes it may be blurred.
I'm not clear.
What about now?
Yes, ma'am. 1 minute only. Okay. Question number 95. No, that's
95, 95.
Okay.
The magnification of a concave mirror is -1. It implies that the object must be at the focus of the concave mirror. Image formed is virtual. Image formed is erect. None of this. Yes, Sriram.
Yes, ma'am.
What about your answer? It's a revision session. You can guess anything. You must make the mistake. Then only we can correct it.
Ma'am, virtual and virtual now. Because negative always came in the in the virtual always negative there.
Okay. Fisan's chance is over. Now what about others? Others are sitting here and play the game of
Ma'am.
statue. Yes.
None of these.
None of this. It's from Srihari. What about Arun Bhaskar? Try to guess any option. No problem. Chris Joe? I think Arun Bhaskar is ready to say something. Arun Bhaskar, what about your option? It is virtual. Okay. Then Emerin? Any idea?
No, ma'am.
No idea. Alnaros? Alnaros, her option is none of this. Okay. Then what about Revu? Is it is option B or option C?
Ma'am, my opinion is B.
If M is equal to -1, negative means if it is a negative sign, what about the nature of the image? Is it is virtual?
Ma'am, real.
It is real and inverted. So from this, we can say option B and option C is wrong. Okay. So we are confused with option A and option D. We cannot say the object must be at the focus of the concave mirror. Okay. So which is the correct option? We can go with the none of this. Okay. Okay, children, let me wind up the session.